Okay, welcome everybody to our Trailblazer community group for Salesforce BAs. You can be virtual BAs or in-person BAs, but this particular group is going to be virtual. Today, you are here for our session on active listening, the business analyst superpower. I'd also like to point out that our logo is courtesy of Shirtforce, which they were gracious enough to let us have it. So, some housekeeping items. Uh, the meeting will end up getting recorded, edited, and well, actually, edited like we're gonna maybe the front and the end, but like the middle, it's free for all. So, but it's gonna get posted on YouTube. So if you have to leave early, that's cool. If you don't want to be on camera, like this is, or if you don't want to anybody in the internet in the public to hear you, like this is the time to kind of maybe, you know, turn off the camera. You should mute yourselves anyway. But just know that this will
Discatarone.
be public. Just like that
Catarone.
whoever did not mute right there is there we go. So thank you for whoever was my example. Okay. Next chat, and we will do our best to keep up. Pei and I are going to be tag teaming on this. Also, use emojis wisely. Don't spam. Raise your hand if you want to speak, but stay on mute, please, unless called, just because we have a pretty tight agenda here. Or at least I'd like to think it's a tight agenda. We'll find out. All right. The agenda. Um, so we have our introductions. Then Pei's going to go into active listening, the business analyst superpower. And then some SFBA news and opportunities. There's actually a ton today. So I started this with going, oh man, I shouldn't have put the news on so late. And then I was like, oh my God, I have a lot to say. So lots of news and opportunities. And then we will stop the recording and have some chit chat. Also, Salesforce asked me to get some feedback from you guys. So that'll all be on the unrecorded portion of today's meeting, if you guys want to stick around and find out what it is. So intros, I am Vanessa Grant, hashtag BABA, which stands for Badass BA, much like the logo. I am now 12 times Salesforce certified. I managed to get my Data Cloud cert and my AI Associate cert in like the last couple weeks. I think that was a total of about 3 hours of study time, but I think I might just be like really good at studying stuff real quick. Um, or I don't know, maybe I'm just like data's in the blood. I've been in the Salesforce ecosystem for 14 years, credential ambassador, certified Scrum Master, was recently laid off like at the end of August and have in the last week decided that I'm going solo. So I don't know what that means as far as titles or I don't have a company name or anything yet. So right now I'm just Vanessa Grant Baba. And I also co-host the Salesforce Career Show if anybody is in need of career advice. And I am joined by my beautiful and talented and intelligent co-host, co-leader, and our speaker for today. Hey, why don't you introduce yourself and then we'll move into your session.
Hello, everyone. Yes, those are the stuff that I've done up there. I don't really like this bit talking about myself. Well, what I'll talk about is I wrote a book called Discovery. I've got another one coming out before Christmas called Implementing Salesforce Solution 101. So that's what I wanted to say. But I've worked in the CRM industry in many, many roles, specifically around the consulting side. So if you have any questions around it, I'm happy to answer. But that's all I'm going to say about me for now.
Excellent. Well, you know what? If you don't like this part, Pei, then maybe every month we can just have somebody else introduce you. Be like, find a fun fact about Pei and no, that I see your face. Nope. Okay. This is what happens when we try to plan meetings on the fly, folks. Okay. So on to active listening, the business analyst superpower. I am going to close these slides if I can figure out how Zoom works. Stop sharing. Did I stop sharing?
Yes, please.
That'd be great if I could figure out how to. Stop my screen.
Right at the bottom.
And right at
You see share, just hit the green button.
Okay, I'm hitting the green button. Oh my God, you think I know how to use Zoom by now? I think it's just the lack of sleep. So it's now saying share.
Give me the host. Make
How's
me
that?
God again. And then I can
Thank you.
all right.
There we go. That I could do. That's
Okay.
the one that I can find.
Right. I will place. Got it. Okay, that's me. Everyone can see my screen okay?
Yes.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for making the time to come and listen to this session. Active listening is something that's quite close to my heart. And that is actually because for the last 15, so this is my part of my introduction slide. I have quite a few, but this is the last slide where I talk about how last 15 years of my life, I have been a volunteer for Samaritans, and that is a crisis hotline in the UK that listens to people who are going through emotional distress. And so active listening is something that I practice. I still do my shifts every week. And it is something that I bring to my work life, and I coach my team and I coach people on how to listen. And business analysis, I have found, is one of the roles that's so critical because you are there to understand what the client's problem is so that you can design a solution. So imagine if you went to a doctor and the doctor wasn't listening to you and treated the wrong problem or treated a problem that he thought you had. That is why active listening is so important. So I've made it one of the key things that I talk about all the time. Now, I thought a good place to begin a lot of my talks is to share with you the 4 things that I know to be true based on the experiences that I had being an active listener. So let me know later on if if these resonate with you. So truth number 1, it's where nurture is almost always stronger than nature. What do I mean by that? So let's say you have an apple seed, right? So you think that when you plant that seed and you kind of let it grow, you might end up with an apple shrub bush. What if you had an apple seed and then you plant it, but instead of just letting it grow, you kind of nurture it, you kind of fertilize it with some donuts and more water and love and positive affirmation, you might end up with a donut apple tree. So this is kind of what I mean. All of us are a sum of all the experiences that we've been to. So how we show up in the world is due to the things that have gone through in our lives. So the environment we were brought up, the culture that we grew up in, the neighborhood, the parental adult figures in our life, the school, the friends, university, if you went to university, all the jobs that you had, the people that you surround yourself with shapes who you are. What that means, and that leads to my second truth, which is everyone carries invisible baggage. So let's assume that, this is like a conference and everyone is chit-chatting. So one of the things that I notice, I play computer games. If you play computer games, you'll kind of realize, mentally, I will have, a little like a health bar, and I will imagine that this person I'm talking to, how much of them is made the day they were born, and how much of them is because of their environment and how they grew up and where they grew up. So for a lot of people, what I found out is that nurture plays such a big part of how we show up. So, we can grow up with different ideas and humors and beliefs hang up. Some of us will have trauma, tragedy, which shapes the internal dialogues in our desires and hopes. All will be different. That means that this will lead to different kind of feelings. So when they say, so have you ever been in a situation where you were in a conversation with somebody and then they get really upset because you said a specific word? So, you know, they use words like a trigger word that will cause someone to be more upset, but that it doesn't affect you in the same way. So that's why we have to understand that all of us, you know, we have different feelings and emotions to specific words because of our past. And that's what I mean when I say everyone carries invisible baggage. Now, if you approach every interaction, either with your client, your boss, your teammates, and then in your personal life, you know, your immediate family and relatives and friends and neighbors, with that thought that something may have happened to them yesterday, they might have got bad news, or, you know, they're not feeling well because something else happened, and they're not showing up in the way that you expect them to, and you walk into that interaction with that sort of empathy, you're miles ahead of anyone else who just blindly goes through life and day to day just focus on their internal thoughts and feelings and turmoil. Now, this kind of leads me to my third truth, and it is, what are the emotions that are the most destructive one? And I will tell you this, which is shame, right? So if I look at the callers that we have to our crisis phone line, a lot of them have brought to this point, which is where they believe that there is only one option out of the situation that they're in. There's only one option, and it's an irreversible one. It is most of the time brought by this emotion. Given that that's the emotion that is the most destructive, it's the one thing that I try to make sure that no one else will feel it in the interactions that
Yeah.
If you're not on mute, can you? Thank you. So I've been this person many times. You know, when someone shouts at you, makes you feel very small, diminishes you and belittles you, and you really just feel that, please, can the ground just open up and swallow me? That is shame. And shame is something that we should try and remove from what we say and how we say. So I'll go into how this relates to listening in a bit. So let's go to the fourth one, which is the deepest human needs. I know most of you will know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. The bottom ones is usually, you know, food, water, air, shelter. But I think that the deepest human need is to matter. Because if you look at a lot of the suicides, a lot of them celebrities, you think they have everything, but why did they take that path? So very quickly, these are the four truths, right? Nurture is almost always stronger than nature. Everyone carries invisible baggage. Shame kills, and the deepest human need is to matter. So these are the four things that I wanted to bring forth to your consciousness in terms of the things that I've learned. Now I'm going to play 2 clips. I have time, right? I hope you can hear this. I'm going to set the scene. So who has seen Inside Out 1 and 2? Right? It's a great film. It's a great film. I'm just optimize for sharing. Right. Let me just set the scene. This is Inside Out 1, by the way. So Inside Out is a movie where you have a young lady, Riley. She's just moved to a new location with her parents. She's feeling a lot of things as she's growing up. She is unhappy and she's forgetting things, for example. So Inside Out is about the emotions in her and how they play with each other. We have joy, we have sadness, and at the moment in this clip, Riley is forgetting some stuff. and Joy is trying to find a way to preserve those memories. So watch what happens. As you know, as we grow up through life, we will forget things as well. So this little clip talks about that, but I want you to pay attention to how the listening bit goes. So let's have a look.
Hockey? Oh, no, she loves hockey. She can't give up hockey. Bing Bong, we have to get to that station.
Sure thing. This way, just past Graham Cracker Castle. Hey, weird. Graham Cracker Castle used to be right here. I wonder why they moved it. Wow, that's... I would have sworn Sparkle Pony Mountain was right here. Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to come back.
Princess Dream World! Oh, the Stuffed Animal Hall of Fame! My rocket! Wait, Riley and I were still using that rocket. It still has some song power left. Who's your friend who likes to play? No, you can't take my rocket to the dump. Riley and I going to the moon. Riley can't be done with me.
Heather, what's stopping you?
Hey, it's gonna be okay. We can fix this. We just need to get back to headquarters. Which way to the train station?
I had a whole trip planned for us.
Hey, who's ticklish, huh? Here comes the tickle monster. Hey, Bing Bong, look at this. Oh, here's a fun game. You point to the train station and we all go there. Won't that be fun? Come on, let's go to the train station.
I'm sorry they took your rocket. They took something that you loved. It's gone. Forever.
Sadness. Don't make him feel worse.
Sorry.
It's all I had left of Riley.
I bet you and Riley had great adventures.
Oh, they were wonderful. Once we flew back in time. We had breakfast twice that day.
Sadness.
It sounds amazing. I bet Riley liked it.
Oh, she did. We were best friends.
Yeah, it's sad.
I'm okay now. Come on. The train station is this way.
How did you do that?
I don't know. He was sad, so I listened to what...
Hey! There's the train!
So did you see how, just pop a few things into, oh, stop crying. You're gonna make me cry too. Pop a few ideas as to why you think Sadness was a better listener than Joy. So at the moment, so I also trained a new volunteers for for Samaritans, and at the moment we're going through a cohort, and they're also learning about what it means to be a good listener. So a few things. Anyone? Validated elephant thing. That's Bing Bong. That's Riley's childhood friend. She didn't try to fix his feelings. That is so, so important. She didn't try to fix or make him feel better. Acknowledgement is a really big thing. So keep that in mind, because I'm going to dig deep into that, and we're going to do what I call skills practice, which will kind of embed it a little bit. Right. I'm going to do another little video. Some of you may have seen, and this is a video on Brene Brown's difference between empathy and sympathy, and it's also important for listening. So let me put this on.
So what is empathy, and why is it very different than sympathy? Empathy fuels connection. Sympathy drives disconnection. Empathy, it's very interesting. Teresa Wiseman is a nursing scholar who studied professions, very diverse professions where empathy is relevant, and came up with 4 qualities of empathy. Perspective taking, the ability to take the perspective of another person or recognize their perspective as their truth. Staying out of judgment, not easy when you enjoy it as much as most of us do. Recognizing emotion in other people and then communicating that. Empathy is feeling with people. And to me, I always think of empathy as this kind of sacred space when someone's kind of in a deep hole and they shout out from the bottom and they say, I'm stuck, it's dark, I'm overwhelmed. And then we look and we say, hey, you climb down. I know what it's like down here. And you're not alone. Sympathy is, ooh, it's bad, no. You want a sandwich? Empathy is a choice, and it's a vulnerable choice, because in order to connect with you, I have to connect with something in myself that knows that feeling. Rarely, if ever, does an empathic response begin with "at least." Yeah. And we do it all the time. Because you know what? Someone just shared something with us that's incredibly painful, and we're trying to silver lining it. I don't think that's a verb, but I'm using it as one. We're trying to put the silver lining around it. So, I had a miscarriage. Oh, at least you know you can get pregnant. I think my marriage is falling apart. At least you have a marriage. John's getting kicked out of school. At least Sarah is an A student. But one of the things we do sometimes in the face of very difficult conversations is we try to make things better. If I share something with you that's very difficult, I'd rather you say, I don't even know what to say right now, I'm just so glad you told me. Because the truth is, rarely can a response make something better. What makes something better is connection.
I always really like that. Oops. Hang on. Just 1 minute, something else. Oh, let me just kill the videos. Right. Okay, so that's the difference between empathy and sympathy. And people can detect sympathy, and a lot of people don't like it. And so when we, as business analysts, when we are doing listening, one of the key things is to actually, right, so at some point, I think we'll cover things like process mapping, going through as-is and to-be processes. But when you're doing the as-is, which is a very, very first part, is to be very good listening. No, what do you call it? No, try not to problem solve first. Open the conversation, not shut it down. Okay, so let me very quickly go through a couple of things here. Share my video again. Okay, when you are listening, one moment, I just wrong here. Okay, when you are listening, one of the first things that you need to do is to meet them where they are, which is to understand, where are they? Are they at a, oh my God, the system's really very bad, it's not doing what I want it to do? Or are they in a space where, hey, I want it to be better, can you give me ideas how to do so? Can you tell the difference between the two states that I've just described there? So depending on what state you see them in, you have to meet them there, or your connection will not be as tight as it could be, right? So let's just begin. When you're having a conversation or when you're listening, right, are you focused on yourself or are you focused on the other person? So if I'm focused on me and someone's talking, Mr. Blue Hair here, I might be thinking of, hang on, I really want a donut right now. I'm really hungry, right? If I'm focused on you when you are talking, I'm actually paying attention. So we're going to do some exercise later on, but here's what I want you to realize. When I'm focused on me, I'm thinking about what to say next to jump in, interrupting you, thinking about when my story was worse, and I want to really share that with you, coming up with a solution of fix, because I need to fix you, or trying to get you to hurry up so that you can get to the juicy bits. You're so boring. I'm thinking about what to eat, what's on my shopping list, what to do next. You know, I'm focused on me and I'm not listening to you. And that does the conversation a disservice, and you find that you are actually not listening, right? I wanted to share something there. So very quickly, so I mentioned to you I'm training my new cohort of new listeners, and we are talking about volunteers who will be listening to very, very deep, very personal, very intense conversations. So we do role play. When we do role play and I play the caller and I hear that someone's trying to fix my problem, I immediately disconnect and defenses go up. And I'm thinking, you're not listening to how dark it is right here for me. So if you remember the video you saw earlier on, if all you're thinking is, think about the silver lining, think about all the good stuff that you have, think about all the positives in your life, but you're not here with me, I'm disconnected. You're not meeting me where I am. You want me to meet you where you are. And the difference between sympathy and empathy is that people who have sympathy, what they're actually saying is, feel better, you know, there's a fishes in the ocean, and you know, the sun will come out tomorrow, because you know why? You being not happy is making me feel uncomfortable, and I need to change that. That's really what it means. And a lot of people kind of like, they know that and they don't connect with it. Now think about that. If you're a business analyst and you're in a workshop, you're meeting someone and they're showing you all the spreadsheet that they use, and you think, hey, you know, I can fix this with Sales Cloud. I can fix this with this and flows and this report. It'll make your life so much better. Sometimes they're in that space where they get really excited. And sometimes they're just thinking, I see a lot of ego here, and you're making me feel really, really uncomfortable. And, you know, you're showing, as human beings are, you're showing how much you know, and you're showing me how little I know. And I really don't like this feeling. I'm feeling very little right now, right? Can you think back about what I said earlier on? When people feel that way, they get defensive, walls come up, your conversation will really not be great. You might get information out of them, but it won't be the best that it could be. When you have true connection, you'll find that you learn a lot more, you'll explore a lot more, and therefore your final design is so much better than it would have been otherwise. Now, if I'm focused on you, I'm listening to your story, your words, the language, the words that you use, your non-verbal, that mean your body language, right? And how you say things, and really getting the energy. So again, going back to, you know, when I'm on my shifts, I'm on the phone, all I can hear is the voice. So I need to really pay attention and listen to the pitch, the tone, the pace, how they say things, how the silence unfolds, how many heartbeats there are in between the silences, so that I can understand the emotional energy that's coming back to me, so that I know how to move the call forward. And that's the skill that you can cultivate if you start focusing on yourself and you focus on the other person you're really listening to. Don't come up with what I want to say next. You just really focused on the other person. Now we go to another axis, which is feeling versus facts. This one is leaning a little bit more towards, you know, the volunteer thing I was talking about. So if someone's telling you something vulnerable, right, and you focus on feelings, right, you'll be asking why. So who left who, and who did what to who, and what happened next? So that's focusing on facts. If you're focusing on feelings, then you are asking, oh, I'm sorry that your boss yelled at you. How are you feeling right now? How did it feel then? You know, so what did you do, and how did you cope with the news that you got? Okay, so that's focusing on feelings, right? Now, I focus on facts when I'm problem solving. In the work mode, I'm problem solving, I'm in a high conflict situation, dealing with a professional problem, anything that's approaching confrontation, I will focus on facts. And that's something that I teach during my masterclass, and we role play difficult interactions with clients. We focus on facts. If you're doing a show and tell and you have somebody who wasn't in design come in and start dissing what you've built, we've all been there, right? How come you did it this way? This is rubbish. When I was using Microsoft Dynamics, we could do that. Okay, I shouldn't do that because I came from the Microsoft world. How do you deal with things like that? I focus on facts. Anything that has to do with conflict or in a professional environment, somebody giving or receiving performance reviews and feedback, always focus on facts. I will focus on feelings when it's a vulnerable conversation. You know, I do that to make sure I'm paying attention, I'm in the moment, I'm trying to get a sense of the emotional state, because the other person is likely to find it very difficult to share with me what they want to say. It might be, I want to leave, or it might be, my partner's leaving me and I'm finding I can't focus on work, or I'm going through a illness and I'm caring for somebody who's going through a tough time, and I have to take some time off and I can't be here for UAT, whatever that might be. And as a team manager, as a project manager, I will focus on feelings with that person before I focus on facts and go, all right, what do I need to do next? But obviously when the feelings things have been dealt with. Another axis, very quickly, is listening versus problem solving. Okay, so problem solving is, I think you should do this. Listening is, what do you think your options are? And the difference is, one is in a coaching phase, one is in a directing phase. Let me give you when you should use both, right? So I do the problem solving and directing when it's a professional problem and I'm mentoring an inexperienced junior talent who requires step-by-step kind of like walkthrough, hand-holding on how to deal with things. I focus on listening and coaching when I'm talking about self-directed professionals who are looking to grow and develop themselves a bit more. Okay? Right. So question is, how do I know where to be? Should I be listening? Should I be trying to solve their problem? Very quickly, on a business analysis side, you should look at the stage you're in. When you're in the as-is situation, the earlier it is, the more exploratory you want it to be. If you start to shut down then already, if you say, oh, I think I know what your problem is, we'll solve it with this trigger and this framework and this thing and agent force, right? You're already shutting stuff down before you're listening enough to understand what you need to do to address it properly. Okay, but right, in a personal relationship, you want to say, how can I best support you right now? Do you need a listening ear? Do you need me to hold space so that you can share and vent? Do you need me to help you find a way to solve the problem, or perhaps help you generate some options to move forward? Okay, only then do you know what to do next. Okay, now this next bit, I'm going to go through a bit quick because I want to get to exercise. Right. So how to listen, right? So this technique was designed by Samaritans, not designed, but it just, they came up with this SHUSH acronym, which I will share with you now. So the first is show you care, S, and that means being present, phones away. Like if you're face to face with somebody, make sure that you make the eye contact, make sure that they know that you're paying attention. A very quick one, somebody said to me, what if you are neurodivergent? So I had some friends who say, you know what, I listen best when my hands are busy, I'm crocheting or I'm coloring. Share that information and then it's okay. Just say, right, I am listening, but I really need to do this while I'm listening so that I can really focus on your words. And that's okay, because what we call the caller, the person who's speaking, needs to know where you're at, what space you're at. So show you care, be present, right? Your mind, body, and your heart. Have patience, because sometimes the other person is trying very hard to share with you what they're going through. So observe the body language, nonverbals, and respect the silence. Don't keep jumping in. right? Silence sometimes is them trying to get the words, the correct words to share, or they might be worried about your judgment, about how you might react to them coming out or giving you information that they think that you're going to not be happy with. Use open questions. Be curious, right? Open it wide. Tell me more. Don't judge and don't problem solve. Now, judgment can come in many ways. It can come in words, and it also can come in actions. So, you know, a lot of us understand the eyebrow, the mom's eyebrow, who, you know, so much info can be just stored in one eyebrow. Like, what are you doing over there? That kind of thing. So be observant. The tone and the tilt of your voice, how you say why, can be very judgy. Like, why did you do that? Why? Who would be stupid enough to do what you just did? Right? So the why, be very careful, right? How you say the word why. So usually I'll say, so what led you to start using 12,000 Google Sheets to manage your pipelines? You know, things like that. Just be careful with the word why. Say it back. And all this is paraphrasing, so that they know that you've heard what they've said, okay? Reflect and label. I like the label. Let me just explain. This also comes from the Art of Splitting the Difference, which is written by an FBI negotiator called Chris Voss. What that means is that if you see someone's non-verbals not match their verbals, so like all the time, fine. Is it really fine when someone does that? So you can tell that how they are and what they say isn't aligned, right? How do you bring that up? What you do is you reflect and you label it. So what that means is, Van, I noticed that you said you were absolutely fine with our design decision, but I detected maybe a hint of passive aggression in your posture. I might be wrong. Tell me I'm wrong or right? So all you're doing is you're surfacing the incongruency between your verbals and non-verbals, and you're giving the other person permission to then share what they're feeling. Yes, I think that was a rubbish design, says Van in her heart, but now that she said out loud. So that's what that means, okay? And finally, it's have courage. When you're having difficult conversations, be prepared to ask difficult questions and be prepared to hear difficult things. That's what it means. Okay, so because when you do it right, you're helping someone sort their feelings out. And I do this because I really like this. When someone's going through lots of things in their head and their heart, and all you're doing is listening, not solving their problems, all you're doing is just reflecting and then just helping them lay out their thoughts and their feelings in an orderly manner. And they'll go, right? And when someone truly listens to you, you feel like you matter. And that's the full circle back to the fourth truth that I was talking about, is when people feel that they matter, then they feel like they have value and they're worthwhile. So here it is, okay? If you don't try and fix their problem, you don't try and cheer them up or be positive, that's all there is. Right. Now, what we're going to do, okay, we're going to do an exercise, and we have time. I like this. Spin through. Hope you paid attention. Okay, so we do skills practice. Every time you learn something new, you should actually put in practice. I hope you practice it now. You practice it outside as well. I know it's, very fast, but here you go. I'm going to put all of you into pairs after this. Okay. If your video is not on, I want to request that you turn it on just for the exercise, because it helps make the connection tighter. Okay, and also I think there's some people who might be there but not there, which isn't fair on someone who wants to do the exercise with you. So I got people who's just talking to a blank screen, and it's kind of like not great. I'll put you into breakout rooms in a minute, and this is the exercise we're going to do. Okay, so we're going to have, how much time do we have? Okay, I'm going to give you like 6 minutes each exercise. So we'll have, again, we only do one exercise. 3 minutes, one person speak, the other person listen, and then swap after 3 minutes. Okay, I hope we can get that done. Right. If you're the listener, just pay attention to how many times did you have to stop yourself from sharing your story, opinion, or judgment, or trying to solve their problem. Okay, so just pay attention to yourself, right? And if you're the speaker, so you're talking about this particular topic, see if you feel any judgment from the listener, or are they trying to solve your problem, and whether you feel really listened to or not. Okay, I'm not gonna ask you, all of you, your how it went, but this is just an exercise. So yeah, I'm gonna skip to listening exercise 2, which is this one. Okay, share an event that changed you as a person. It can be anything. All right, 3 minutes on, 3 minutes swap. Everyone got that? Yeah. Okay, so very quickly, how many times did you, as a listener, how many times did you stop yourself from sharing your story, opinion, or judgment and trying to solve their problem? As a speaker, when you're speaking, did the other person listen to you or not? Right? Okay. I'm going to pause. Okay. Hopefully you will have had an opportunity to practice listening. So just very quickly, I have 2 minutes before I have to hand it back to Vanessa. Yes, photo. Oh yes, can we do a really quick photo before we before I forget? Can you, how do I make it? I don't know how to make it like all the people everywhere. All the people everywhere. And let's stop you from. Can you stop sharing, madam? Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Okay, let me just grab a quick screenshot there, everybody, and
Don't forget page 2.
oh yes, we have page 2.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes, we really appreciate it. Page 2, come off camera if you can. Oh, I see lots of faces that I love.
Yeah.
Amazing. All right, okay. We have that. So just very quickly, I have 1 minute. I don't have 1 minute actually. Just wanted to hear what your, feelings are. You can type in the chat, or actually, I don't have 1 minute. We'll take you back to Vanessa. Thank you everyone for being part of this session with me. Back to you, Vanessa.
That was awesome. And Pei, definitely feel free to continue talking in the chat. I'm gonna bring up some news and stuff. And for folks that have to head out, because I know we're kind of running out of time, I'm gonna keep going until like about 30 past. But gonna share some news. All right. So let me find my presenter notes. There we go. Okay, so thanks again to Pei for active listening, the Business Analyst Superpower. Yeah, that I actually, I think I struggled even a little bit with that last breakout room. So I think I need to work on that a little bit more. So to move into some Salesforce BA news and opportunities. First, we had a really successful actual in-person BA meetup at Dreamforce. So thanks to all of the new members that are joining us from that meetup. There were a bunch of folks that joined. We had 96 people show up. I think it was one of the biggest Community Cove meetups. So super excited. Thanks, everybody. And speaking of Dreamforce, one of the big announcements is that Salesforce will offer free AI virtual and hands-on workshops, in-person courses, and certifications through December 31st, 2025. I already took my AI associate cert because it was free, and I was just like, oh, hell, I want to take a break, so I'll take a certification right now. So they're already on WebAssessor for free. Do not get caught up on the whole like trying to put a promo code and then wondering why it's not working. Just scroll down and hit submit. So some FAQs on there. There's a little URL. Again, this will be recorded and posted on YouTube, so you can dig into this a little bit more, but certainly put it on your to-do list for the next year. Get your AI specialist and your AI associate certifications, because why not? And if you can go in person in either London or San Francisco and get some hands-on training and like how to build your first agent and all sorts of fun stuff like that, why not? It's free. Then more news. We have a new Salesforce BA blog. Caitlin Graff, who I recently did a panel on business analysis at the new Superpower, is started a Medium blog on Salesforce business analysis because she wanted more resources out there. I love seeing additional Salesforce BA resources out there. That is part of our goal. We are championing business analysis in the Salesforce ecosystem. And just because I say it doesn't mean that I am 100% right, or that my perspective is the only one that matters, or that pays is. Definitely, form your own perspectives and throw your own information out there. So I love that Caitlin's out there putting out templates, putting out information, and she's also looking for contributors. So if anybody's interested in writing and having their work posted on her blog, maybe you're not ready for Salesforce Spin yet, or you're just wanting to contribute to this new resource, feel free to go to that Medium site and hit contribute, fill out the little Google form, and Caitlin will be in touch. Caitlin has also recently moved to Glasgow. So since this is the UK group, if anybody's in the Glasgow area and wants to welcome her to the area, please reach out, because she is looking for some community folks. Also, since we're talking about YouTube and that panel I did with Caitlin, we have an official for the group, Badass SFBA YouTube channel. Thank you, Pei, for putting that together. I wanted to also point out, besides the recordings of these sessions, we have playlists for the recordings, also SFBA videos we like. And if you happen to hate one, or like I accidentally threw something in because I hit a button wrong or whatever, let me know. We can always curate it. And then also a co-leaders playlist, because Pei and I are rather prolific speakers on these topics. So if you want to look at some of the things that we have spoken about, I've also put a playlist on the channel for our stuff specifically. Then in kind of sad news, the Clicked program, which for the last 2.5 years has offered free basically Salesforce subsidized this platform Clicked to close the skills gap and offer free kind of experiences so that folks could practice their Salesforce skills in Salesforce administration and business analysis. Unfortunately, they are closing the program. So the program is going until the end of the year. So there's still going to be some experiences available, but unfortunately it is closing. So if anybody was interested in participating in a Click Sprint or something like that, your opportunity is between now and December, and then it will be done. Ways that you can support Jeff Sample if you've received some value from the Click program, is that he is happy to take LinkedIn skill endorsements and/or recommendations if you found the program valuable. What this also means is this whole thing from last month, where the data plus AI plus CRM, it's free now. So everybody that paid their $295 is getting refunds, and they are accepting latecomers. So if folks are interested in career courses or coaching sessions, now they're group coaching sessions, or they want to go through some of the experiences, I think that you'd still, if you went through enough of the challenges, would still be qualified for the certification voucher. But feel free to sign up. There's the link to it. If somebody wants to throw that in the chat, that'd be great. But if you wanted to check it out, you are welcome to check it out. Again, another free resource available till the end of the month. And then call for speakers. We've got 3 of them this month. It's Cairo Dreamin' if folks are going to be in Egypt, Cactus Force in Scottsdale, Arizona. I hear there's a really great Mexican buffet for that one. But of course, the wonderful speakers as well. And then Polish Dreamin'. So if anybody's in the Poland area, is there Poland area? Is that, I feel like that I should be more specific than that. But anyway. And if folks want to speak at our group, This is going to be the Google form, so you could let us know if there's something that you'd like to talk about. And you don't have to be an established speaker. If you just have a point of view on business analysis in the Salesforce ecosystem, we want to hear from you. And we want to nurture you and get you out there and sharing your points of view and practicing with us. So let us know if you are interested. And sorry, I know I'm 3 minutes over. Next event is actually going to be still at the end of this month. At least that's what we're expecting. TBD. We're working on some stuff. But thank you, everybody, for coming. I think we already took that photo, so I don't have to say take the photo. I'm also supposed to say Pei. You can stop the recording and make me host. But thank you, everybody, for coming.